Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office can prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Brittany McDuffie. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
8/3/1987.
Brittany, you had 3 charges this morning. I have 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of retail theft. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll take the public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
No history, Your Honor.
Brittany, I have an address for you on Jefferson Street here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
For about 5 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work at Deli World.
Okay. All right, Brittany, on the 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, I'll set your bond at $500 on each count. On the retail theft, I'll release you on your own recognizance, so your total is $1,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 10th of July. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. 7:10. Robert Wolpert. Mr. Wolpert, what's your date of birth?
4/18/79.
Mr. Wolpert, I have 2 charges this morning: battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Your Honor, there's a long list dating back to 2011 of obscene material possession, internet.
All right. And Mr. Wolpert, I have an address for you on LaBella Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
4 months.
And how long have you lived in Hernando County?
Over 20 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yeah. Mario's AC.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave your bonds for the schedule in this case, which is $5,000 on the bat Leo, $1,000 on the resisting. The total is $6,000. I'll have you back in court on the 10th of July. If you get out, make sure that you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Tiffany Phelps. Morning, Tiffany. Looks like you had first appearance on the weekend. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you agreed to waive your right to extradition hearing. Is that also correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll sign that order now, Tiffany, and we'll put Georgia on the clock. They've got 15 days from the day you showed up over the weekend to come and get you, okay?
15 days.
Okay, she signed it. And now, did she sign one over the weekend, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll do it from whenever you sign it, Saturday or Sunday. It'll be 15 days from that day, okay?
And then if they don't come,
If they don't come, Tiffany, they'll bring you back to see me or Judge Rupee, whichever one of us is doing first appearance. If Georgia has contacted us and said, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow, then we will hold you. If they haven't contacted us and we don't know what's up, then you'll be released, but it won't take care of these warrants. It'll still be an issue. So one way or the other, they've got the time to come get you. If they don't come get you, you get cut loose, but that doesn't make the warrants go away, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Daniel Carlson.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Daniel. What's your date of birth?
6/26 of 79.
Daniel, you're here on two warrants, one that I signed and one that Judge Rupee signed. They're both for violations of probation from my court. Both of them have a recommendation of 30 days. If you want to take the 30 days this morning, you sure can. We resolve both these cases. If you'd rather speak to an attorney first, of course you can do that.
Judge, yes.
I have over 30 days in already.
Judge, where were you? Were you in jail here or someplace else, Daniel?
Here.
Okay. Judge, we have, we checked this morning. I'm ready for the public defender's office. While we don't represent Mr. Carlson yet, we compute that he has 27 days of actual time.
That's enough. All right, so Daniel, in that case, would you like to admit a violation of probation in these two cases? I'll give you time served.
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by entering an admission, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so that we can take care of these cases today.
Yes, sir.
In case number 17MM4237, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the admission, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll revoke and terminate that probation, unsuccessfully adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge if that didn't happen already. Sentence you to 27 days in the county jail, credit 27 days served. There'll be a $50 cost of prosecution and your costs of incarceration. In case number 17MM4238, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
Accept the admission, find that it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate that probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge. If that wasn't done before, sentence you to 27 days, credit 27 days served. There'll be a $50 cost of prosecution. That takes care of both cases, Daniel. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. Daniel Samino. Morning, Daniel. What's your date of birth?
Good morning, 9/25/1986.
Daniel, I have a warrant for you out of Sumter County. It looks like the judge in Sumter County found probable cause for a violation of probation and set the bond at no bond. I can't change that. We will let Sumter know that you're here and ready to go. They have 5 days to come get you. It does not take 5 days with Sumter County. But if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, Daniel, they'll bring you back to see me and we'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Alberto Giarratana. Morning, Alberto. What's your date of birth?
5/4/76.
Okay. All right. Alberto, I have 2 new charges of driving on a suspended license and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. And then it appears that you're also currently on felony probation. Is that correct?
I'm on parole out of another state, sir.
Parole, okay. Are you being supervised here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What state?
Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm from Florida, though. I grew up in Hernando County. I have ties to the community through my father, who owns Papa Joe's. I have a job. I really, my license is suspended.
Stop, Alberto, stop. Don't say anything else. Don't say anything else. The situation is even more dire for you than for most folks. The criminal charges are what they are. It's the parole out of Arkansas that is the issue for you. And I don't know what their standards are, but you don't want to say anything this morning, okay? You're going to hire private counsel, or you want the public defender?
At this point, I've only worked for 2 weeks now. I'm going to have to ask for a public defender.
Oh.
Maybe I might be lucky enough to get a private counsel.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender. All All right, State, what do you know about this gentleman?
Your Honor, there's several charges for fraudulent or insufficient funds, felony mischief, possession, cannabis, and that's it, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. And Alberto, I have an address for you on Tropical Drive in Wekiwachi. Is that where you're living?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
I've been there for about 4 months.
Okay. All right. You set the bond on the driving charge at $1,000. On the felon in possession at $2,000. That's a total of $3,000 on those. Those are coming back the 10th of July. However, on the parole case, I have to hold you without bond until we figure out what's going on with that. Is it possible, State and Kathleen, can we set that for a status in front of Judge Merritt the same day that he comes on those other cases? Because it's kind of open-ended right now, and I want to know that somebody has contacted Arkansas and figured out what the story is with that parole, so that he's not just sitting there endlessly waiting, because it's not our case. I'm afraid that there's going to be a lack of interest. So if the State Attorney's Office will make a note, we'll have this set for the 10th as well, as opposed to an on-demand, so that the judge is looking at it, you guys are looking at it, find out what's going on with Arkansas. Okay. So I have to hold you without bond on that one, Alberto, but we'll set it also for the 10th of July, so that
Kind of like a status on extradition.
it's like, yeah, because and you know how the parole agreements are. It may be he's out of rights. I don't know, but we need to find that out. Arkansas needs to be notified, and we need to get it cleared up for him so he has some understanding of what might happen.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir, I do realize I have no bond on the parole, but I just ask you please drop the bond on the other charges, so that when in fact they do allow me to get out, I can afford to get out.
Alberto,
I have three children.
Alberto, the scheduled bond was $15,000. I set it at $3,000.
Thank you, sir.
So there you go. All right. Thank you. And Paul Hennigan. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
4789.
So you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and a hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. They told you the 10th of July. I'll have you back on the 6th, and the public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, folks.